Let's start today in child's pose. So with this being a Zen class, you can always, if you have like a bolster or a blanket or anything like that, you can grab that and just kind of hug it in your child's pose and support yourself with it. Or you can just take a regular old average everyday child's pose. Or if you have a block, you can bring your forehead to that block, reach your arms out. Lots of choices. And the beauty is you can try a choice and see if you like it. And if you don't, try a different choice. And explore and play and find those places that you really want to be. The more that you explore and play and figure out where you want to be and what your options are, the more you can come to your mat with any instructor in any class and know that you have the option to do really whatever you want. And just let your body get soft and heavy here. Start to come into your breath. Every inhale gets a little bit deeper. Every exhale takes just a little bit longer to exit the body. And then take a big, deep breath into your body. Fill up all the way. Part your lips and sigh that breath out. Oh. Deep breath in. Sigh it away. Seal your lips and breathe in through your nose. Out through your nose with that same sigh in your breath. Connecting to your Ujjayi breath. And if you have any blocks or bolsters or blankets in your child's pose, set them aside and then come back to your child's pose. Just start to walk your hands over towards the right side of your mat. Get nice and heavy in your left hip. Stretch through your side body. Walk your hands back to center and all the way over to the left. Get heavy in your right hip and stretch through that side body. Staying in your Ujjayi breath. And walk your hands back to center and gently come up into a tabletop position. So hands and knees. Take your shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. And on your next breath in, let your belly soften, let your heart lift, look up towards the ceiling, cow pose. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, round your spine, look back at your thighs for cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Keep running through these on your own breath. Move as slowly or as quickly as your body would like today. Come back to your neutral spine. And take your hips back to your heels again, child's pose. And let's take those a little bit bigger cat and cows by shifting forward on the inhale and letting the hips drop down towards the mat for a cobra pose. Notice if things feel a little bit stiff here in this first one. And then take your hips back to your heels, child's pose. Inhale, shift forward, drop those hips, cobra pose. Exhale, take the hips back to the heels, child's pose. Keep running through these on your own breath. And know that if this really doesn't serve you, if it doesn't feel good, come back to those cat and cow poses. Take one more round of whatever is working best for you. And we will all meet back into that child's pose. Come back up to your tabletop and go ahead and just come to a seat. Find that easy seat so the crisscross to your legs. And inhale your arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, twist towards the right and take your left hand all the way over towards that right knee. Hold here for a few breaths. Sit up nice and tall. Maybe you even start to look back over that right shoulder. Look forward. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, twist towards your left. Bring that right hand all the way over towards your left knee. Maybe you gaze back over that left shoulder. Sitting up really nice and tall. Look forward. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, reach to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, reach to center. Exhale, twist to the right. Keep moving through this on your own breath. Not worrying about keeping up with me or what you think you should be doing or how fast or how slow you think you should be doing it. What I love the most in these moments of movement is just to close my eyes and let my body move in a way that just feels good. When you take your last twist towards the left, bring your arms all the way back up to center. Take your right hand, drop it down to the mat next to your right hip, and just reach over with that left hand towards the right, stretching that side body again. Few breaths here. Get nice and heavy in that left hip and reach through those left fingertips, just creating as much length in the left side of the body as you can. And then come back to center. Drop the left hand down. Reach that right arm over towards the left. Again, get really nice and heavy in your right hip and reach through the right fingertips, and it just makes that right side of the body so long. Let's bring in a little bit of movement again. So inhale all the way up, exhale over to the right. Inhale up through center, exhale over to the left, and back and forth. If there's anything your body is naturally called to add in here, any extra movement, any little twist, go for that. Or just let it all move in a way that feels good. And in your own time, take your last movement over towards the left. Come back to center. Bring your hands to the mat right in front of your crossed legs and just start to walk the hands forward. Fold down, forward fold. Stay in your Ujjayi breath here. Walk your hands back up towards your legs and then switch the cross of your legs so the opposite one is in the front. Take your hands back down to the mat. Walk your hands forward, fold down over your legs. Keep breathing. Notice if your mind is wandering or racing off somewhere else. Try to let the breath bring you back to this moment. Walk your hands back up towards your legs. Take both of your hands back behind your body with the fingertips facing towards your hips. So your shoulders are really drawing back. You're already starting to get a little back bend here. You can press into your hands and really start to hug your elbows towards one another. Let your heart open up a little further. Really arch the back here. You might be getting a nice stretch in the shoulders. Right? You can keep your seat on the ground. Keep hugging your elbows together. Nice big back bend. Take a big breath in and then gently start to come back upright. Come back over into your tabletop position. Take your right arm Reach it all the way up towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, thread it underneath your left arm. Lay down onto that right shoulder. Keep your hips up high. Really let your heart melt down onto the arm, stretching into the shoulder. Take your left arm, which should be kind of free and able to move, and reach it forward. Maybe you start to look underneath that armpit, but really walk those fingertips forward. Get a bunch of length. I don't know what that's doing to my mic, but feels good for my shoulder. And then walk that left arm back. Press into the hand, lift back up. Reach that right arm all the way back up to the ceiling and set it down next to your left. Take your left arm, reach it up, and then take it underneath your right arm. Lay onto that left shoulder. Let your heart really melt down onto the arm. Take your right arm and walk it out above your head. Walk those fingertips out. Really make it as long as you can. Maybe you start to look underneath that armpit. And then bring that right hand back. Lift back to tabletop. Take that left arm all the way up to the ceiling and set it down next to your right. And then just step your right foot forward. So you have a 90-degree angle in your left knee and a 90-degree angle in your right knee. And all you need to do here is just start to tuck your tailbone up underneath your body. Hopefully you start to feel the front of this left leg. That's your psoas. If you are not feeling anything there, then start to lunge just a little bit. So you start to let your hips come forward a little and then tuck your tailbone. But what you're looking for is sensation in the front of that left leg. Right, when we do a lot of sitting, this particular part of our body stays really short, gets really tight, starts to cause issues for our low back, issues in our hips. Notice if as we stay, you kind of lose that tuck in your tailbone and the sensation starts to go away. See if you can stay in it. And then gently untuck your tailbone. Take your hands down to the mat. Right foot comes back. Left foot steps forward. 90-degree angle in the front, 90-degree angle in the back. And then tuck that tailbone. Start to feel the front of your right leg now. And again, if you're not feeling it here, start to widen your stance and let your hips sink a little bit. Stay in your breath here. One more inhale, and then untuck your tailbone. Come back to your tabletop, and then come to a seat again. Take your legs straight out in front of you. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold down. Yeah, if you really want to start to activate the hamstrings a little more, flex your feet. So flex those toes back towards your face. And really avoid that desire to kind of grab and pull yourself down. See if you can just allow the body to soften over the legs. Let gravity take you just as far as it wants to. And then use your breath. Inhale, expand really big. Exhale, let everything get soft and heavy. Kind of like a balloon, filling up with air and then deflating. Your whole body fills up with air, deflates. And as you work that breath, the body will just naturally start to sink a little bit deeper with every inhale and every exhale. Breathe in, come all the way back up. Take your right foot flat to the mat, bend the knee, and then tuck your right shoulder inside of that right knee. Use that connection to twist towards your left leg. So another just nice little gentle twist. But if you really start to press your arm into your knee, you'll start to twist a little deeper. If your shoulders are pretty open and your arms are pretty long, you might want to just play with a bind here. Your right arm can reach all the way around that right knee, and your left hand can reach all the way around. And maybe your hands can find each other. And if they don't find each other, oh well. You can still get a really nice twist. Look forward and release. Extend that right leg long. Take your left foot flat to the mat. Tuck your left shoulder inside of the knee and just twist open towards your right leg. Use that connection of the arm to the knee to act as a lever. And if you want, take that left arm and reach it around the left knee. Take the right arm back. See if your hands find each other. See, and the funny thing is my hands find each other, but my hip flexor doesn't like it, and it wants to cramp. So on this side, the pose that serves me best is the one without the bind. Knowing that and identifying it is doing your yoga. And look forward and release that twist. Take both legs long on your mat. Take your arms straight out in front of you. Start to hug your belly button towards your spine and really round your back. Reach your fingertips forward. You might start getting a really nice stretch in your shoulders, the tops of your arms, and then slowly start to roll yourself down onto your back. One vertebrae at a time. All the way down. Take your feet flat to your mat. Take your right ankle onto your left knee so that your legs look like a number 4. Stay just as you are if this already starts to open up on your right hip, or reach behind your left knee and hug everything up into your belly for a reclined pigeon. You want to feel this in that right hip. Maybe some in that right glute or even into the hamstring. See if as you stay here, you can start to soften the back of your body down into the floor, knowing that it's fully supported. There's really no work for the back of your body to do here. Your shoulders can relax. Your low back can soften. Your neck. Unclench your teeth or unfurrow your brow. And slowly release your left foot to the ground. Keep that right ankle on your left knee, so don't come out of this yet. And then go ahead and just cross your right leg all the way over the left at the knees, like you're sitting fancy in a seat. From here, start to bring your knees up into your belly and reach your hands down, either for your shins or your ankles or your feet, and start to draw them down towards your hips. So this is a reclined cow face pose, and it accesses just a little bit different part of the hip, gets a little bit deeper into some of those other parts of the hip that we've already been into. It's a really nice next step. And if you feel like maybe your body is starting to get in the way of your mobility, if you have further to go, but your knees are already all the way into your torso, you can start to peel your tailbone up off of the floor and hug your feet in a little bit closer to your hips. So you start to lift that tailbone, you'll get a little bit more activation there. Take a deep breath in and gently release your feet. Unwind your legs, bring both feet flat to the floor. Take your left ankle onto your right knee and reach behind that right knee. Start to draw everything up into your belly. Reclined pigeon. Breathe here. Notice if in this place of stillness your mind is wandering off, which it's almost expected to do. Just bring it back with the breath. Come back into a place of really feeling your body, noticing if you are holding tension in your face or in your back or in your legs. Maybe it's in your toes. And then gently take your right foot back to the mat. Cross that left knee all the way over like you're sitting fancy in a seat. And then start to lift your knees into your belly. Reach down for your shin bones, for your ankles, or all the way down for your feet. And draw down towards the hips. Or down towards the floor even. And remember that if you feel like your knees are all the way down into your body, but you could still go a little further and get a little more opening in your hips, keep drawing your feet down towards the floor and start to peel your tailbone up off the ground. It's just the smallest movement. But if you find it, it gives you a lot more activation. That's just a random thought to share. Is a lot of the things we talk about in our yoga classes are, sometimes finding muscles that we haven't used in years and years and years. So you may hear someone say something 100 times, and then that 101st time is the time that you find it finally in your body, and you go, oh, that's what they meant. So don't feel like you're doing it wrong or get frustrated if you can't find those things. Gently release the feet down to the floor, and then take the soles of your feet to touch and let your knees fall open. Supta Baddha Konasana. You can always bring a little bit of weight into the back of your head. Lift your shoulders up off the mat. Hug your shoulder blades together so your heart is lifting towards the ceiling a little bit more. And it just creates a little bit of a deeper back bend. Opens up the heart just a little bit more. Keep breathing, let the body stay in stillness. And then start to draw your knees in towards one another. Hug them up into your belly. You can rock side to side on your low back. And reach down for the soles of your feet or just behind your knees for happy baby. But really let your knees draw to the outside edges of your body and draw down towards the floor. Use your breath to soften here. Don't come so deep that it starts to create tension. Again, maybe it's just a place where you go as far as gravity wants you to. And then start to breathe. And let everything soften. And whether you have a hold of your foot or just behind your knee, keep that connection with the leg and then just gently start to straighten your right leg out. Maybe you even start to open it up a little bit further to the right. You can roll over towards the right if that feels good. And then bring the knee back in, happy baby. Keep the connection with that left leg and start to straighten it out. Maybe it starts to open up towards the left. Maybe you kind of tip over towards the left just because it feels good. It's kind of the constant name of my game. Does it feel good? Just do that. And come back to center. Keep connection with both legs. Start to straighten out. Let them fall open just as wide as they'd like to. Maybe you rock side to side. And then gently release the feet and take them straight up to the ceiling. You can keep your low back down on the ground, but if you have a block, bring your feet back to the mat. Lift your hips and place that block right at your low back and take your feet back up to the ceiling. Either way is perfectly wonderful. Again, see if you can let the back of your body relax. No work to do, completely supported. Soften the neck. Draw the chin towards the chest. And let the shoulders relax into the ground. And let the low back soften. And let the joints at your hips and your knees and your ankles and your toes soften. Notice if you're keeping any of them rigid. When I start to soften everything in my legs, sometimes I start to get a little tremor. That's cool. If you have your hips up onto a block, bring your feet down, lift your hips and remove your block. If you don't have the block, just go ahead and bring the feet all the way down. Take your legs long on your mat. Reach your arms up over your head. Reach from your fingers to your toes. And then take the top half of your body over towards the right on your mat and the bottom half of your body over towards the right. So you're making a big crescent moon. You're getting a big stretch through the left side of your body, compressing into the right. And everything is still flat on the ground. So you are still able to soften all the muscles, all the joints, fully supported. Breathe here. Bring everything back to center. Take the top half of your body over to the left. Bottom half of your body to the left. Stay flat on the floor. Big stretch through the right side of the body. Compression on the left. And just breathe here. Let it be. Bring everything back to center. Prop yourself up onto your elbows. And try to bring your elbows as close together underneath the back of your body as you can. Start to press into your forearms, your elbows, your hands, and lift your heart up towards the ceiling. Hug the shoulders together. And maybe, if it sounds like a good idea, start to let your head drop back behind you for fish pose. Keep lifting your heart up towards the ceiling, whether your head is dropping back or not. Keep hugging the shoulders together, hugging the elbows in together, pressing into the hands. Deep breath in. Bring your chin back to your chest if your head has dropped back, then come back down onto your back again. Bring your feet to the mat and let your knees fall over to the left. Take your gaze over towards your right. Supine twist. And if you're feeling spicy today, we were doing binds earlier, and just know it's just a place to go and not necessarily something you ever need to be able to do. But if you'd like, take your top right leg and see if you can wrap your left peace sign fingers around your big toe. So that leg is nice and long now. And then bend your bottom left leg back and see.
I think your mic turned off.
It did. Here I am. I don't know how far we got, but we have a straight right leg, a bent left leg, only if it feels good. And then release everything. Bring your knees back to center and let them drop over to the right. Gaze to your left. And then if you're playing in this twist, straighten that top left leg. Wrap the peace sign fingers of your right hand around that toe. And then bend your bottom right foot back and see if your left hand can grab it. I don't know if you guys got the name of this before my mic turned off last time, but I've always been referencing this particular place as the cat pulling its own tail. Which makes me laugh and then makes it all the more fun to do. And then release everything and bring your knees back to center. Hug your knees up into your belly. Bring your forehead up to meet your knees. Make a tiny package. Take a big deep breath in. And as you exhale, release everything down onto your mat. Shavasana. And let your arms and legs just fall wherever they may. Grab a blanket or a sweatshirt or a pair of socks. And soften your brow. And let your eyes rest heavy in their sockets. And let your tongue fall down from the roof of your mouth. And release your jaw. And let your shoulders melt down into the ground. And soften your low back. Relax your arms and your legs. Every finger, every toe. And rest. Take a deep breath in, exhale, and let it go. Start to move your fingers, move your toes, making small movements that lead to larger movements, waking your body back up. And in your own time, in your own way, come onto your side in the fetal position. Let your intuition lead you to the right or left side. Either one is perfect. And just take a moment here to pause. Gently press yourself up to a comfortable seat with your eyes closed or a soft gaze. And bring your palms to touch in prayer at your heart center. Lift your heart up into your thumbs and bow your chin just slightly to honor yourself for coming to your mat today. Give yourself this hour of self-care. And we will seal our practice with one Om. Exhale and let all of the air out of your body. Breathe in for Om. Om. And draw your thumbs up to your third eye center. Bowing forward with love, gratitude, and peace. Namaste.